The transfer show. So what were they all talking about? A sentence usually used after Kobbie Mainoo and Mark McAdam have spoken. Anyway, hopefully they'll explain all over the next hour. Now, is Cole Palmer unhappy at Chelsea? Well, the former Manchester City midfielder has been linked with a move to Manchester United. Could that happen? And is Jean-Philippe Mateta running out of time and suitors as he tries to leave Crystal Palace? Hello again. Now, since his move from Manchester City to Chelsea, Cole Palmer has become one of the most talked about players in English football. He was integral in the 2 trophies that Chelsea won last season. But could he be on his way back to Manchester?
Future in terms of their midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm being honest, I'm quite surprised that he stayed there to the end of his contract. For me, he's been a shadow of the player that we were lauding at Real Madrid. Been a great player, and he's had maybe sort of a couple of spells at Man United where he done okay. Well, we thought he was big at the time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like for his age,
changer.
70 million.
For a 28-year-old.
Yeah, and then when you then hear the sort of wages that he was on, and James was right, but yeah, for me it was an astronomical size deal for someone of that age, and I don't think he's really produced.
Well, the news comes at the same time that Manchester United are ready to open talks with Kobbie Mainoo over a new contract. So quite the turnaround for him, James, isn't it? It's unbelievable, really. I mean, just a few weeks ago, he looked surplus to requirements. He only got his first league start in January, and now talks to get a new contract. It's amazing.
It's amazing what happens when a manager leaves, doesn't it? And new people come in and with fresh eyes look at it. Look, there's someone who's come through the academy at Manchester United. He's actually one of the less paid members of the Manchester United first team. So discussions are ongoing with his representatives about bringing him up to some parity with his teammates. And yeah, it didn't start under Michael Carrick's come in on interim basis, starts him straight away. And actually, he was terrific. He showed everybody what sort of player Kobbie Mainoo is, didn't he?
Well, for me, it's been scandalous the way he was treated under Amorim. I think what he done at such a young age for not just Man United, but for England, I was a huge fan. And even going back to the contract situation, they clearly wanted him to sign a new one, I think, at the beginning of the season. Well, maybe at the back end of last season, there was talks going on. But I suppose if you're his representatives, whoever that is, the minute you've been treated like that by Amorim, you put the handbrake up and you put them on that contract, one of the top ones we have.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. Just in one game, he seems to have just reaffirmed his value incredibly, and it's almost like, right, he's locked down his midfield position. But then who's going to play alongside him? So now the focus turns to, probably in the summer, really, rather than in January, who they can bring in. And there are 3 obvious options we've all been talking about: Anderson, Baleba and Wharton. Now, you've had a quick look at those 3 and their numbers this season. They're not all exactly the same, are they, in terms of midfield?
Look, you can determine numbers in different ways, but we're going to have a look at them now on the screen. You'll just see some comparison between the 3 right now. And you see, look, Anderson's played a lot this season. The difference in successful passes is huge, actually. But Anderson's stats just match up so heavily. Carlos Baleba hasn't had a great season. It's, I think, pretty fair and obvious for everybody to see. He was fantastic last season, struggled a little bit this season. And remember, there was talk in the summer about a link of Manchester United interested in Carlos Baleba. Adam Wharton's an interesting one. Crystal Palace remain resolute that he's one for the future for them. They want to build the team around him. But Steve Parish has also spoken recently about the fact he knows he's an ambitious young player, and eventually at some point he'll want to play Champions League football. But he has a long contract at Crystal Palace. Anderson's got a long contract. Carlos Baleba's tied down at Brighton. Whichever one you pick, it's going to cost a lot of money in the summer.
Who's going to be the cheapest, do you think, of those 3?
For me, I would say the cheapest probably, I think you'd be able to get Adam Wharton for cheaper than the other 2. I think because of what happened with Moises Caicedo at Brighton and the value they put on him, and obviously the amount of money they recruit from Chelsea for that, I think they'll look at Carlos Baleba and go, well, hold on a minute, we see you as potentially being as good as Moises Caicedo, so we won't accept anything below, say, 100 million. Elliot Anderson, for me, has been...
To United. Well, today, Liam Rossini addressed speculation about Palmer's future.